Hey, how's it going? How's it going, buddies, my dudes? Can I ask you a couple of questions for YouTube, man?
Sure, you can ask those questions.
Go ahead.
Do you guys eat animals?
All the time.
Yes,
You think it's ethically problematic to like murder animals and eat them, or you think it's fine?
it's fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
I think it's
fine.
with it.
Would you guys say it would be wrong to give your money to somebody who had a little kiosk here and stabbed kids and turned kids into sandwiches? Would it be bad to give your money to that guy?
Yes,
Yeah,
agree.
I would agree. I'd
yes.
be pretty peeved.
Okay, so the question is this: what's so different between animals and kids that makes it okay to Holocaust animals but not kids?
Humans are created in the image of God and have souls, when animals are not.
So you guys are a bunch of religious people.
I'd say so.
So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this: like, what's your epistemic criteria for determining a being is fine to Holocaust for sandwiches? Like, when you come across a being, how do you determine? It's fine to Holocaust him for sandwiches. How do you determine that?
The status of whether you have a soul or not.
Yeah, no,
I would agree.
And what makes you determine that? Like, what's your criteria for determining? Okay, he has a soul, not him, not him. How do you determine
I
that?
think all humans have souls. It's the ability of a human to recognize a soul.
Right.
It's just human.
Yes.
And how do you define human?
How do you define human?
So it would be, I would give like a biological definition, a Homo sapiens, and somebody from another species that we interbreed with. Can we work with that definition of human?
Yeah, let's go with that.
So let's say hypothetically we found a bunch of people. Let's just talk about those two girls right there.
Yeah.
Let's say we tested their DNA. Turned out, lo and behold, they're not human. Let's say they were from another species and scientists proved it to you. They're schmumans, not humans. Would it be suddenly okay to stab them for sandwiches, yes or no?
I think that's a false premise. Or just
Well, it's not a premise, it's a question.
Well, I think if you give me like maybe aliens, you give me something real to work with,
Well,
we can talk about that.
Well,
I
well, are
think
you
that's
guys
where I'm
can
getting from.
do any of you are any of you willing to dodge the question? Because he says a false premise, but it's not a premise; it's a question.
Well, I can answer. Do you want to let me finish and
So
let me answer it?
the exact hypothetical
heard you the
question.
first time. Do
So
you wanna let me answer it?
let me repeat it really quick for the audience.
no,
people
I think
people
I fucking heard it.
people in the audience that might be lost. So the hypothetical is this: if a scientist came with a DNA machine
The false premise
and
is this.
tested, that's not
This is the false
that's a
premise.
question, not a premise. You know what a premise is?
Okay.
A premise
I
is
know the
a proposition in an argument.
Okay, so the
So
premise
this is
I
like
was
this is the
talking about-
question.
The premise, do you want me to explain my point?
Well, you're not letting me ask the question.
Well, you already asked the question.
Let me
You
ask
already
the
asked
question for a second time.
yourself.
So the exact question is this: if scientists tested their DNA and it turned out they were not human, they were from this species, the question for you guys is this: yes or no, or maybe you're agnostic. Yes, no, I don't know. Would it be ethical to stab them for sandwiches?
A premise is that.
Okay, so you're just gonna dodge questions. Are you guys interested in not dodging questions?
I think that it's kind of hard to say like.
So you know the question, right?
No,
It's a yes, no, or I don't know question.
Yeah, no, I still think that there's no way.
So it's a yes or no, or I don't know.
I think that it's still like
Yes,
It
no,
would-
or I don't know, bro.
I don't think it would make sense even because I mean there'd be no.
It's a yes or no question. Would it be ethical to stab them for sandwiches if it turned out they're not humans?
Is it a yes or no question?
Yes or no?
I mean, if they weren't humans, then like
If they were not humans.
That's not.
no, I don't think there's there's not like a chance. Like they're like I would never like look at another human being and be like you're not another species. Like I think that like it would just wouldn't make.
self-evident.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
self-evident
it is established in the hypothetical. It's a logically possible hypothetical.
So your question is if
This guy keeps claiming it's a false premise.
question-
Premises are propositions in an argument.
Is if humans were not humans, could we eat them?
Are you guys gonna keep running away from the question?
Are you gonna let us try to help you?
So
try to help elaborate
yes
on
or
your
no?
question?
So yes or no? Would it be ethical to holocaust those ladies for sandwiches if it turned out they're not human? Yes or no?
Yes.
It would be ethical.
Yes. If they
Okay,
were.
that's carnism right there. Okay, good to see you guys. It would be ethical to holocaust them if they were not humans. Poor ladies. Sure. It's eat pussy, not animal. It's
Actually, that's funny.
all together with a V instead of a U.
Wait, let me find it.
And we're just exploring like the logical entailments of people's views, and it seems like your view entails holocausting those poor ladies, man.
Yes.
If they were not human.
Something like that.
If there's a big if. Okay, eating. You said eating pussy.
Eat all together, eat pussy, but with a V instead of a U.
Pussy not.
No.
Sorry.
After the P is a V. Not animals. Yep, that's the one.
That's you. Hey, you're right here.
Have a good one, guys.
What's your name, dude?
My name's Eri, H-E-R-I.
Abraham. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys. Think about the animals, man. Honestly, I don't think a good God would like it that we're like holocausting animals.
But it does say in the Bible. It says in the Bible that God gave us, the freedom to eat the creatures of the land and the creatures of the sea. It says that in the Bible. So that, I understand what you're saying.
Does the freedom mean that we should do it?
Yeah.
We should do it. If
Yeah.
we had alternatives, let me seriously consider this. You think God is good,
Yeah, absolutely.
and you think animals suffer, they want to live? Yes or no?
Yeah, no, obviously they want
Okay.
that.
Do you guys honestly think a good God, if we had two choices, grab an apple and eat the apple, or stab a little animal like a little pig in the neck and eat the pig? God would prefer that we eat the pig.
God would also prefer if we weren't sinning. When Adam, if you know kind of the story of the Bible, but when Eve sinned, when she ate the fruit that caused sin on humanity, that caused it all to fall out of alignment. So without that, there would have been no death. So it's on man.
So let me ask you
fall
this:
is on
do you
man.
think all is permitted with animals? Like we can rape them, for example?
No.
Well, we do that in factory farms. Showing that documentary, guys. That documentary right there shows you standard practices. Animals are bred into existence through the process of artificial insemination, man. We sexually exploit them. We take away their children from them. It's cruelty to a horrific level, man. We wouldn't do that to our dogs, our cats, our children. Why the fuck do that to these animals, man?
At some point, I'd believe that God gave us dominion and fair choice.
And dominion means it means that from God's view, it is fine to holocaust animals in factory farms.
I disagree with that. However, there's
I'm asking
there's pros and cons to both. Obviously, to an extent, raping and making animals is bad. I'll agree with you on that. But also,
But you pay for it by not being vegan.
But also at the same time, if you do it in an ethical way, if you let animals naturally reproduce and eat them that way, I think that's totally fine. There's obviously being in a factory and all that stuff isn't as good as farm raised or something like that. But
Are you aware that in most occasions that you go out and purchase animal products, it's not happening in that so-called humane way?
Can I ask you a question?
yeah, go for it.
No, but I asked him first a question. Are you aware that in most cases where you go out and buy animal products, it is not the case that animals are done that in the so-called humane way?
No, absolutely. But there's also a point where I feel like I value my life more than a pig. And I think that you would say the same. I think that you would. I feel like
you can say that. You can say that you value your life more. It's fine. I can say the same thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But that doesn't mean that their life is so invaluable that it's okay to just holocaust them for sandwiches when we can eat something else, man.
No, but I understand that.
You got a question for me?
I have a question. What are your pants made out of? They look like they're denim. That's cotton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you eat vegan, so what do you eat? Do you eat soy products? Do you eat vegetables?
I eat a bunch of plant-based alternatives. I don't currently eat non-sentient animals, but it is ethical to eat oysters that are non-sentient animals.
Right. So where do you draw the line? Right? The acreage,
Sentience.
the lands that your pants were grown on. So much environment was destroyed. So many animals killed, pests destroyed, killed. Okay, the fruit that you eat, the vegetables that you eat, everything has a cost on the environment. Okay? So where do you draw the line? If all life is as valuable as
I draw the line.
humans that you were talking about earlier, then I don't think you should be wearing your pants.
No, I don't see how that's entailed from my view. I think it is bad to.
Your view is that all life is valuable.
No, that's not my view.
right, what's your view?
Why are you assuming that that's my view?
You're asking, where are you working up the basis that's not your view?
So I'm a sentientist. Can I clarify my view before you straw man? Because you're straw manning my position. Before you do that, I can explain my position. I'm a sentientist, which means the thing I value, that the only thing that's actually valuable in the universe is sentient beings. So sentient beings are the one that deserves rights, moral considerations and rights. So a sentient being would be a being with a capacity to have subjective experiences like us, like a lot of animals. If there's other sentient beings in the universe, they would have value too. Sentient beings deserve a right to life, but I don't think it's necessarily a rights violation to kill sentient beings.
Okay. I think that part of the issue is that
I can give you some examples. If you killed a sentient being in self-defense, I think it's not a rights violation. You have a right to defend your own life. And if you kill a sentient being to protect our crops, it would be protecting our food security, our resources. I think it is justified there to kill sentient beings. Just like if hypothetically, let's say Russia came down and started destroying all our fucking crops, burning them down, it would be justified to wage war and destroy Russians.
You think that? I think another issue, a stop in this argument, you're working from the assumption that all sentient beings, however you decide to define that, are on the same level. Whereas I think
No. Again, you're strawmanning me there again. There's a hierarchy. So there's a hierarchy of value. I can agree that some beings are more valuable than others.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
I don't think a human has the same value as a fucking ant, man. Right?
Yeah, I
there's
understand that.
differentials in sentience.
So what I'm saying, and I think what we're saying is, I believe personally, mankind has dominion over animals, and it's okay to kill them, to eat them, to make clothes out of them, in order to further our well-being. And so where does your hierarchy start? Where does it finish?
Yeah,
What was the question?
Exactly. How do you define the hierarchy
How do
you're
you
talking
rank it?
about?
So I think any being with non-trivial amounts of sentience have value. So let's say some being just only experienced the color blue, and it didn't suffer or anything. It just experienced the color blue. I don't think that's a non-trivial amount of sentience. I don't think those beings matter. Beings matter when they have like non-trivial amounts of sentience. Like they can suffer. They value their own lives, etc. They think. They feel.
I think that we come from we have a very similar starting point. And I guess what we're sort of talking about, or at least what I believe, is the sort of similar to the sentience thing. It's the soul. And so maybe I look at it in a more religious way. I don't know what you believe, but
Yeah.
it's a very similar idea, you know?
Are you guys down to conclude the veganism debate and debate God's existence? Are you down?
I like enjoying the veganism one.
You have any more questions? Because I think it concluded, we established that we had different values. You guys would be okay holocausting those ladies if they were not humans. I think that's horrific. Even if they're not humans, they have value, in my view.
I think, as far as God's existence goes, I think that's a very spiritual, religious thing. It's not something to be debated about.
So you guys wouldn't say you had like rational reasons to believe there's a God?
I would, but I think
I mean,
that's
but he said he's enjoying the vegan debate. So if you had any more questions about veganism, I'm happy to answer.
I'm still interested in the view. It seems I've heard similar stuff, but nothing quite like what you're saying.
So how we define veganism is like a logical extension of the idea of human rights. Like I think it's like about extending human rights to other sentient beings. That's what veganism is to me.
And is that thought of yours, is that based off the premise that, so you're saying that all sentient beings are valuable and there's a hierarchy?
Yes.
I'm still interested in how do you define this hierarchy? Because my idea of the hierarchy we're talking about is that humans are up top, we're made in
Not
God's
necessarily in my view. Like it could be the case that there's some beings
Yeah.
even more sentient than us.
No, absolutely.
They would be more valuable.
Yeah, I understand that, and I'm super interested. I
Oh,
think
you guys believe in God.
Yeah,
God
but-
is more sentient than us. He has like an incredibly complex mind. He has the greatest mind. So he's the most valuable in your guys' view.
He would exist on that's in your view, actually, because you're saying ranking people on sentience, the hierarchy thing, right?
Yes.
So would you believe that?
I don't believe in God, but if there was a God, he would have more value than us, yeah.
I would say that the God that most people believe in exists on a spiritual plane, not really a physical plane.
Yeah.
That makes
Well,
sense.
he's a mind, so he's sentient as well.
He exists on a spiritual plane, which you don't understand. And so you can't really debate about something you don't understand
Right.
at all, right? There's no Wikipedia
But
page.
he asked about the sentience hierarchy. Like, I
have a
think
question about
I think beings have more value than others to the degree that they have more sentience than others.
Is there a ranking within humans?
It could be, sure.
Do you want to talk about that at all?
So let's say hypothetically, I think we all deserve a right to life. So it would be wrong to exploit any human for like needless reasons, right? But if I had a choice between stabbing you to death or committing a very early term abortion, I would kill the very early term abortion than you. I think you have more value than the very early term human.
So if we're going off sentience, and like, what about sort of brain activity? Someone who's sort of brain dead, like a vegetable type being.
If the person is brain dead, so it's not in a coma, the person is already declared brain dead.
Yeah.
I think they don't have any value.
What about someone who is in a coma?
Somebody who is in a coma. So my position is this: I only value beings that have already acquired sentience in the past and have the potential for future sentience. So somebody in a coma already acquires sentience and has the possibility to acquire sentience again, so he would have value. I think it would be wrong to just stab the coma patient.
So what about someone with Down syndrome? Someone who's still human but has less brain capacity than someone else, is not as, I guess, whatever you want to call it, sentient.
Yeah, so they would have enough value to deserve basic rights and moral considerations. Just like I think it's wrong to stab cows, I think it's wrong to stab mentally disabled people,
But you
humans.
Say they're on the hierarchy, they're below.
Depends. Not necessarily, right? There could be some. There's other things that I
What does it
take
depend
into
on?
account. Like let's say I had the choice between killing a mentally disabled person with Down syndrome or Hitler. Hitler is more sentient, but he's a fucking piece of shit that Holocaust people. So I would kill Hitler.
Yeah, that was
So I
what
take
we were
I
talking about
take I
earlier.
take other things into
Like the
consideration.
Russians destroying our crops.
Exactly,
and
exactly.
justification. What about me and like my best friend who has Down syndrome? Let's call him Jack.
Shit, I think it would be wrong to kill any of you.
But it's say you have to. Like it's the classic like train on two tracks. The trolley
question.
So a trolley problem I have to between you and the Down syndrome. Let me ask you this: is the Down syndrome person vegan? I would kill the carnist over the vegan.
Let's say we're both not vegan.
Both not vegan. I don't know, man. It's kind of hard because I don't know the consequences of either action. So in situations like that, I would like flip a coin or something, man.
Does your friend not want to dodge the question?
What friend?
Maybe
How am I
maybe
dodging
he
the
won't
question?
Dodge the question.
I said I would flip a coin. I would be like agnostic onto what's worse.
I have a question. How did you get into doing this, like street interviews and stuff like that?
I'm interested in philosophy and debating, and then I came across this ethical issue of animal exploitation, and I just feel like I have a calling to defend them because nobody else is defending them. So
Like, how do you get like what sort of do you watch like people who did this or other people who've done like interviews?
yeah,
There's a lot of stuff on YouTube.
yeah, there's some people that inspire me. Yeah,
I'm just interested.
like internet debate bros, like
Yeah,
that I
that's
know.
cool.
Yeah, like there's some people that I can name, but you guys wouldn't know about them. But
I used to watch stuff like that sometimes. So I'm interested in who you used to watch.
yeah, so people that like highly inspire me to do what I do are people like somebody it's called Ask Yourself. It's a YouTube debater, vegan debater, but also philosophy debater. Dr. Avi, so like a medical doctor that's a vegan and a debater, and vegan activists like people like Earthling Ed and stuff like that. I think are inspiring because they're basically like vegan rock stars. Like they're like famous for what they
So
do.
you mostly got into the vegan thing. Like it wasn't just other stuff, and then you got into veganism. It was
Yeah, veganism is part of my like greater interest for just like finding truth, and philosophy,
that's dope, dude.
Interesting. That is
How
really
would you
cool. Hey, man. It was great
Meeting you guys.
Appreciate
It was
you. Good at your
absolutely.
job.
You're good at what you do.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Hey, have a good
And
night, guys.
think of the animals, man. Give it some thought because you can be Christians and also against animal abuse, man.
There's many people. Yeah.
Take it easy, brother.
Enjoy the sun tonight.
Thank you. Hey, how's it going, man? You speak English?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a few questions for YouTube?
What?
Can I ask you a few questions for YouTube?
Yeah.
Cool, man. Hell yeah. Are you against animal abuse?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think if somebody decided to stab that little dog there and eat the dog, would that be bad?
Yeah.
Do you personally eat animals?
Yeah.
You think that's ethically problematic, or you think it's fine to just murder a bunch of animals, eat them?
I don't think it's ethically bad. I think like, for example, I'm reading like a book about like evolution right now.
Mhm.
I think it's just like the way of life. Like,
What does evolution have to do with anything?
well, because our body's like designed to like eat animals.
I
The
mean,
way-
evolution is just an explanation of how species arose.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with what we should do. That's in the realm of ethics. It's not in the realm of science. Science seeks to explain how things are in the world, but it tells you nothing how you should act, right?
Well, yeah, I think science also explains like, for example, I think that people who like eat animals are healthier than those who like don't. For
Can you
example, there's a
support?
lot of-
Can you
there's a
can
lot
you
of
support?
science.
Can you back up that empirical claim with scientific evidence that people who eat meat are healthier than vegans?
I mean, I
Science
think
disagrees
there's
with you.
There's some specific like vitamins and like micronutrients that.
Which one?
I think B12 is one. of
B12,
them.
yeah. So why not take a supplement instead of like holocausting innocent animals?
Well, for example, I can agree with you with one point that I think it's like really the system right now that we eat animals is really bad. For example, the meat industry is only controlled by 4 industries, and that creates like a monopoly, and that basically like we have like less quality of meat and more.
What do you think is the quality of life of the animals in there?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's really bad. Like I don't think that's good. But if you put like in a perfect world, we wouldn't need like vegans. That's what I mean. I don't think the
In a perfect world, we wouldn't be vegan.
No, I don't think. I think that we need to fix the process of like the way that we eat animals, not like not eating animals at all, because like it's not.
Let me ask you something to test, like if we even have common ground. So if somebody here like open up a little like kiosk and he
Yeah.
was like stabbing children and selling them for sandwiches.
But-
No, let's
Yeah.
find the common ground first. He was stabbing children, turning them into sandwiches, and just selling them to people on the beach. Would it be bad, yes or no, to give your money to that guy?
Yeah, it would be bad. But
So now you don't think it's bad to give your money for animal sandwiches. So the question is, what is it that's true of animals that if it was true of humans would make it okay to do that sort of thing to humans?
wait, can you repeat the question?
What's true of animals that if it was true of humans would make it okay to do that sort of thing to humans?
Well, I don't think we're superior to animals. I just think it's like the way of life. For example,
Can you
lions.
can you provide an answer to what I asked?
What's superior? That from
No,
from
no. So
us to
let me
animals?
rephrase the question. So what is it that's so different between us and animals that in your view it is okay to holocaust animals for sandwiches but not humans? What is it
Oh,
that's
I know
so
you mean,
different?
like, well, that we're different species. Like, for example, like, no species, or like at least like not many species eat their own like species. That's what I mean. Like, I have more regards.
That's what in your view makes it okay to
Yeah,
eat
I
animals
have
but
more
not humans.
I have more regards to a human because I'm a human, and a lion would have more regards to another lion than compared to a human. That's what I mean. That's like it's more like because of our kin. Because
So let me ask you a
see
hypothetical
human-
question.
No, sorry. I say a
Sorry, go
human,
ahead.
I like identify myself with that human, and also we have like
And by
more
human,
morality.
you mean a member of your own species, Homo sapiens.
Yeah,
that
well,
you're
for
able to
example,
interbreed with that person.
I wouldn't like to like eat a monkey because it's like kind of like similar to us compared to like
Well, then the species is not the distinction. If you wouldn't eat monkeys,
no,
right?
it is a distinction because it is like more like close to our kin. You know what I mean? Like it's more close to like a chromosome.
Well, you mentioned species first, and that
Yeah.
has some entailments. Like for
Yeah,
example, hypothetically, if we tested those two guys' DNA, we went with a machine and we tested their DNA.
Yeah,
It turned out unbeknownst to us that they're not humans. Hypothetically, let's say they're from another species. Science just discovered another species right here in the among us.
They're not humans.
Let's say they were schmumans. And they couldn't interbreed with us. If they had sex with human females, they couldn't impregnate them. Different species altogether.
Well, I
So
know
now
what
the
you mean,
the
that-
question is this.
but it's
But the
more because of, like-
question is this: would it be ethical to turn them into
No,
sandwiches?
like I guess.
No we
technically-
contradiction there.
No, it wouldn't because.
Well, you said
technically-
species is the thing that justify it.
All right, let me explain though. Let me explain. Like technically, I know what you mean. Like technically, since what I'm saying, it wouldn't be like non-ethical. I think that's what you mean, right? Like my argument is saying that since they're different species, but I think
Yeah, that would be
Even though-
entailed by your
yeah,
original
even
trait.
though I guess it like our brain is still designed to since they look like so like alike to us, like
Because they look like us,
like
physically.
yeah, since they look like us, that our brain will still like not like it because it's like, for example, this is like a random example, but if you have like two little children to grow up in the same family, they wouldn't like to like marry each other because they think they're brothers. Well, I think they're humans, so that's what matters, not what they actually are. You know what I mean?
And you're like what you take into consideration is like their physical appearance, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's say hypothetically we found here in this planet, somewhere else in the universe, who cares, right? Well, we found beings with minds identical to our minds, but they had completely different bodies, so you couldn't relate to them in that way. They look nothing like us. You didn't have that like emotional connection to them because you look at them, they look completely alien to you, right? But they have minds identical to our minds. Would it be ethical to stab them all for sandwiches? Yes or no?
Well, I guess it wouldn't be ethical, but
It wouldn't be ethical.
well, people.
That's a contradiction. That you
Yeah,
admit that's a contradiction.
But I think you're just like saying random claims. You're not really like making an argument.
Well, I'm testing your logical consistency,
Yeah,
right? I'm testing
Well,
your.
there's-
I'm exploring the
Well,
entailments of your view.
You're testing my logical consistency.
Yeah, and
with
exploring.
illogical
That's
questions.
what's illogical about the question.
That there's no beings that have like super
But
close.
When you say illogical, that's like assumes that it breaks some sort of law of logic. What law of logic would the hypothetical break?
Well, if you make like a question like, uh, which one would win, like an unstoppable rock or an immovable wall? Like it's an illogical question because there's no really an answer.
What's illogical about the hypothetical?
Like you're asking me like something that doesn't really like exist. You know what I mean?
Doesn't matter, right? You
Yeah.
should be able to provide. You should be able to provide answers to logically possible hypotheticals. There's nothing logically impossible about that hypothetical. You can admit that we could find in this
yeah.
universe like
guess.
another life form that has minds similar to us but different bodies.
Well,
It's
I
logically
guess
possible.
I know what you're trying to like prove. Like I guess that animals also have like near, like they like also feel pain, so they're like close to us.
They're sentient.
Yeah,
That's what vegans think
Yeah.
is the only thing that matters. Sentience. Sentience is what provides moral value to a being. It's not that they are from a same
Well,
species.
have you
It is
also-
the capacity to have subjective experiences that matter. And all I'm doing is exploring the logical entailments of your view. You tell me that the thing that you care about is your species, but then the entailment from that is that if those two people were not humans, you would be fine eating them. But you then revised your position and you said no, it's not the fact that they're humans, it's the fact that they look like
Oh,
us.
sorry.
But then
I think we had
when
a
I found you
misunderstanding.
when I found you a hypothetical that is logically possible
Yeah.
of some beings that look nothing like us, but we're not human either, you still wouldn't be comfortable eating them. So that's the contradiction there. So then that brings us back to the question: what is it then that's so different between us and animals that, in your view, makes it okay to holocaust animals for sandwiches but not humans?
I guess what our brain thinks. I think our brain was like designed to like eat animals, because if not
But
we wouldn't.
that wouldn't be an answer to the question, right? Because the question is like, what's different between us and animals that justifies holocausting them but not us? It's a difference between the two
different
categories.
from us. Like that's the way we were designed. Like we eat things that are
They're different than us.
Yeah.
But don't you see that how that's like a problematic like way to respond to an ethical question? Like, let's say some people ask, why is it okay to enslave black people? They're different than us, bro. I can't
Well,
justify it.
They're not. That's not a real like.
Well, there's some differences between us, right? Like
well,
in
not-
skin,
not
skin,
like-
to- in
not
skin
like
color.
species or nor DNA.
What if there was?
Well, there isn't.
But if hypothetically there was a species distinction between us and black people, would it suddenly be okay to enslave them? No, right?
But there isn't. So that's another like.
That's the thing. Hypothetically, if there was a difference, would it be entailed from your position that it is ethical to enslave them? Yes or no?
Well, there isn't. You're trying to like.
That's
look
not the
for
question,
answers.
right? The question is if there
there
was a genetic difference between us, and scientists proved it to you right now. Oh shit! Unbeknownst to us, they're from a different species, or they drifted. Let's say they had some genetic drift in the future, and they became a separate species. Would it now be okay to enslave them? No, right?
No. Yeah. I get
So
it.
I'm just wondering, what is it that you think is so different between us and animals that justifies turning animals into sandwiches? It could be that there's no difference, and you should be vegan, right? There's no like morally significant difference. That's my position.
Right.
But you think there is a morally significant difference?
So I've got to think about it, but I think there is, because if not, we wouldn't like be inclined to eat them. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Well, humans are inclined to eat them.
Well, inclined to eat them, and why? And what does that tell you about their moral worth?
Well, it doesn't like answer anything, but
I mean, humans committed cannibalism for a long time. Like, cannibalism was like a cultural universal in the past. Like,
Yeah,
are you gonna say that it's like it is okay to eat humans because we're inclined to do it and we've done it in the past? No, right?
well, I guess
We're inclined to do all sorts of
Yeah,
crazy
yeah, yeah.
shit. Like, some humans are inclined to rape other humans. This doesn't justify some
yeah.
humans.
But what I'm saying is like the majority, not like there's obviously
Well,
like
humans are inclined to have tribal warfare and all that shit. That doesn't mean it's okay. Humans are inclined to enslave each other. We did it, right?
Yeah, you have a good point.
So, can you at least concede that you weren't able to find a morally significant distinction between us and animals that justifies exploiting them, but not us? You can see
Oh,
that.
they're just different species. So I guess like I know what you're trying to say. Like
But you already know the entailments of that trait, right?
Yeah. But since you mentioned like a hypothetical answer and like not a real world answer.
So why not, man? Why not
Because
extend? Why not extend moral consideration and basic rights to them? Why not go vegan? What's the obstacle? What's
What the obstacle?
Yeah.
Well, for example, I'm trying to like build muscle. So like, well, that's just a shitty.
Bro, show
that's
your
a
muscle,
really-
man. This fucking guy is
Yeah.
vegan, man. There's no
No,
excuse.
that was like a BS answer, to be honest.
Yeah. And it
Well,
also
I
it, it
guess-
also doesn't if it's in case immoral, it doesn't justify holocausting others for muscles, right?
Yeah.
Do,
yeah,
don't
it was a dumb-
wouldn't their life have a little more value than your biceps?
Yeah.
And also like it's not an excuse because you can go vegan. You can look into the science, man. I can point you to, for example, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. They're the largest organization of nutrition experts and dietitians in the planet, and they came to the conclusion, according to all the available evidence. They released a peer-reviewed statement recently, and they had released another one in the past, but they updated it. And yeah, they came to the conclusion, yes, plant-based diets not only are nutritionally adequate, they're healthy. They're good for you. They prevent deadly diseases like heart disease because they're low in saturated fat, cholesterol, stuff like that.
You think like cholesterol and saturated fats is what creates, like,
Well, it's one of the risk factors, right?
yeah, but in a healthy diet you should need like those. You don't think?
No,
No.
there's no evidence that suggests that we
Right.
need any dietary cholesterol.
Isn't like cholesterol like one of the main factors for testosterone? That's like one of the most important like.
I mean, we do produce cholesterol. Our body produces cholesterol. We don't need it. We don't need to consume it in our diet.
Right. What's what? Yeah, I agree with you. Thanks.
Yeah. So do your own research. And if you saw right that it is the case that, as science suggests, plant-based diets are not only nutritionally adequate but beneficial for your health, then what's the excuse? Why continue following your culture and your tradition blindly and exploiting all those innocent beings that want to live too, right? And they're sentient. You mentioned sentience.
Well, you don't think like plants want to live too? Like they found a lot of plants that almost have like sentient life. So what's the difference between like plants and animals? If you think
Plants are not sentient.
just they haven't found like a lot of. For example, mushrooms are really sentient.
How do you define sentience?
How do you define sentience?
Sentience is the capacity to have subjective experiences. So it's having a mind, being
Well,
able to
mushrooms-
think, to feel pain, to like.
Mushrooms feel pain. They communicate with each other. Plants also communicate with each other through their roots, and they feel pain. And for example, grass like.
So by
Yes,
feel pain, you're assuming a mind there. You're assuming
Yeah,
sentience. That's not what happens with plants. And so what science suggests is that consciousness and sentience is like an emergent property of central nervous systems, of brains. So only beings with brains that we know of have sentience. Plants, what they do, they react to stimuli. Mushrooms, they react to stimuli, like computers react to stimuli, calculators. That doesn't mean they have a mind.
in a hypothetical world, if they found like plants have like a really close mind to like ours, would you still eat like plants?
Yeah, then that would grant plants moral value. That would mean
Yeah.
that we should grant moral value to plants, and it would even be a stronger case to go vegan, because when you go vegan, you kill like a lot less plants than being omnivorous. Because if you're omnivorous, you eat animals, and how do you feed and grow those animals? By feeding them a shitload of plants.
Yeah.
So by being vegan, you're consuming the least amount of plants, and then we have an obligation, if plants are sentient, to develop technology like lab-grown like food or something like that, where we
Right.
don't fuck up with sentient life.
Right. Very well.
Do you think it's solid argument for veganism?
Yeah.
So what's stopping you? Like next time you go out shopping, are you gonna just continue to choose exploitation and cruelty, or are you gonna choose compassion and veganism?
I don't know. I'll see about it. I guess I still have like a lot of research to do because like you kind of like came to me unprepared. But yeah, you have like a really strong point.
Does it seem to you then that animals matter too, and it's wrong
Oh,
to
yeah,
stab
I
them
know
to
that
death?
animals matter. For example, I think we share a lot of common ground. Like, there's a lot of like really bad things in the like animal like packaging industry. For example, like the meat industry, like dairy industry.
Yeah, and that's most cases. The documentary right here, Dominion, shows you the standard practices, what happens to animals, horrific stuff, man. Like factory farms,
yeah.
like hell for animals. I mean, we wouldn't do that to our dogs, our
Yeah.
cats, our children, right? Why the fuck do them to like those innocent beings,
I
right?
agree.
Yeah, and that's what you're paying for by not being vegan.
Yeah.
So think about it, man. Reflect about your values. It sounds like you have vegan values. You weren't able to, like, point at a distinction between us and animal that justify doing
Well,
that.
like
to them.
as I also mentioned, like you also kind of like came to me like prepared, like with a lot of knowledge, and I'm here like in the beach, like reading random stuff, like not thinking.
Yeah, but
about
you don't
it.
really need to be like.
Well, I think
For an ethical conversation, the only thing that you need to do is reflect
Because
on your
if you-
values.
if
You don't need like any external information to reflect on your own values and determine. Wait, shit! It seems like I care about animals. You can
Well,
look
I
at your
already
own
know I
values.
care about animals. That's not the point. I think like if you come to like a random person right now, and like if you're like a really smart person, you can even get to like into a cult or whatever. Like I'm not saying you're what. That's also like a dumb like answer, but yeah, like I feel like I don't have like the sufficient like research done before like making a decision that like entails like not eating like animals, for example.
Well, I can only tell you this. It sounds like you have vegan values, and like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
only way to align your actions with your values is to go vegan, stop supporting animal cruelty. But now it's the ball is in your court. Do your research and think about the victims, man. If you
Yeah.
were them, man, you wouldn't want that shit done to you.
Well,
right?
God I'm not doing it.
Exactly. Thank God, right? So why do that to others, right?
Yeah.
So thanks for your time, man.
No, thanks to you, man.
Take it easy, bro. Yeah. Well, give a look to this. Give a look at this.
We're gonna see that video.
My YouTube channel is called Eat Pussy Not Animals all together, with a V instead of a U, like the vegan V. Eat Pussy Not Animals all together. My Instagram too. Take it easy, man.